Hi, everybody, and I am super excited to be here today for December's mini masterclass. If you are joining me live, let me know and say hi. I'm coming on a few minutes early just because look who's prepared today. But I thought it'd be fun to share something with you, which is I really love Oracle cards. I'm definitely a very spiritual person and often have an intuitive and holistic approach to business, which I don't know, you guys may or may not know that about me, but I have a daily practice of journaling and meditation, and I have essential oils and crystals, and I'm an energy healer and all of these things. And so you may wonder how that actually applies to business, but I think that it has a lot to do with business because often the energy that we're putting out is the energy that we're getting back. So you've probably heard a lot of people talk about mindset. It's basically the same thing. And so that's really important. And that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients is really making sure that they have the mindset they need. And so that also is really applying to the energy that they're putting out. And that's why it's so important for us to do things like build confidence and really feel sold on ourselves and all of those kind of things. So one of the things that I like to do to keep my energy high and kind of be in that high vibe place is to use oracle cards. So oracle cards are just a deck of cards that you can buy. They're not tarot cards, they're a little different than that. And they just have messages. And so if you want to think about that as just like an affirmation or, reading a quote that is really inspiring, that's one way to look at it. For other people, it may be, hey, Megan, it's so nice to see you here. For other people, oracle cards may be something that feels more intuitive. Like I have a friend who used to open her Bible just to a random page whenever she just really needed some like push through. And she said, it's always the perfect thing that I need to hear. And so that's kind of how I feel about oracle cards. I have several different decks right now. I'm using the Gabby Bernstein deck. And the card that I pulled for this week says, the universe has big plans for me and it's time to claim them. And I really like this card because I think that often as entrepreneurs, we can get into this energy of we've got to force things, we've got to make things happen. I think I was talking about that with you all yesterday. And, that never really works. So there's one thing about like, hey, I'm going to make a list, I'm going to have a strategy, and I'm going to do the work. But it's another thing to feel like everything has to revolve around, everything hinges on like how much time am I on Facebook? Did I get this post out? Is it perfect? Is it enough? Did I get 10 likes? That's not enough. Did I get 20 likes? It's like this push energy. But yes, Megan, I like hers too. And I think I also said this. I got it at TJ Maxx for like half off, so it feels even sweeter. I love a good deal. But they're beautiful. They're really beautiful cards. And so I think that it's a really good message in a lot of ways because when you have a strategy that works for you, that is the most beautiful gift. You don't have to continue to push and try to make shit happen, right? That's how it feels like I'm gonna make some shit happen today. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna reach out to this person, and that kind of energy that you're putting out, exactly, very overwhelming. That kind of energy that you're putting out never gets you the real thing that you want. So part of the reason why I wanted to do this 90-day strategy is because I see that in a lot of my clients, and that's when I'm like, listen, we're gonna reel it in. We're gonna create a 90-day strategy, and this is the only thing you're going to do. And hey, like sometimes I have to do that for myself too. This is what I'm going to focus on. These are the things I'm going to execute, and that is going to be enough. And you know what? It always is. It always is. So we get in that energy of push, get shit done, and we feel like our strategy has to be really complicated, and we have to do all these extra things. We have to show up on all these other platforms, and that's simply not true. Okay, so when I talk about a 90-day strategy here, what we're going to do today is bring it home. We're going to make it really simple. Like you should be out. Well, I guess people aren't out, but you should be enjoying the holidays. You shouldn't feel stressed out wondering how you're going to get all of these things done and still do the things that you want to do with your family, whether you're going anywhere or not. And I know that's how I'm feeling right now. I've got a very simple strategy, and you know what? I've worked really hard to create that. I've worked hard to get over the ideas of thinking I had to do all the things and be all the places and whatever, constantly creating new stuff. I know that you guys know what I'm talking about, so drop me an emoji if you hear me. You feel that, like having to create something new, having to, again, like push and make things happen. So you can create a strategy that works for you, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and you can really claim those results instead of having to push and force and make it happen. So it's right at the time for us to get started at 3. I thought what we could do is actually just pull another card for the group and see like what comes up as far as what's inspiring. Yes, let things flow. So let's just see like how can we let more things flow to us this month and enjoy the holidays instead of trying to push through. So let's see what we get here. The card I pulled is I can decide today to recalibrate my energy and commit to love and joy. So perfect, right? Let's commit to love and joy for this month and recalibrate our energy. Let's just create this 90-day marketing strategy. Let's let it be enough. Let's know that we're enough. And that's all we need to do. So I've told you why I love 90-day strategies. It's because you don't have to think about what are the next 20 steps ahead and feel that pressure. I think this is the best thing to do, especially when you're feeling a lot of pressure, is to make these decisions and decide what you're going to stick to, because your money is always going to show up as consistently as you do. And it's not the big, bold efforts. Yeah, it's not the big, bold efforts that are going to get you the results that you want. It's these repeatable actions that almost feel boring and too easy that are going to get it for you, right? Because it's all about showing up and being consistent. So the first thing that you want to think about when you are thinking, okay, well, what's my simple strategy, my 90-day marketing strategy, what it's going to be about, is you want to pick one offer to focus on. And the reason why I cap this at 90 days is because I hear you're like, oh, but I have all these offers and I have this thing and I have that thing. Yes, but if you're trying to sell all those different things, you're not really selling much of anything, because it's the repeatability. It's somebody hearing the same thing over and over again that is going to make them buy. And when you are showing up and talking about the same freaking thing over and over again, you start to think, you know what? I do know what I'm talking about. Like, people do need this. Well, why are people not buying this? They're crazy. Like, this offer is amazing, right? So you get better at selling the offer, you build a ton of confidence, and people are hearing it over and over again, so they're much more likely to buy. So what you need to do is think, what is the one offer that's definitely true? What is the one thing that I really want to focus on for the next 90 days? And there are a few ways that you can decide what is the best offer for you. So for some of you, depending on where you are in your business, you may need to generate more leads. So for you, it may be about, I just need to create more touch points. I need to create some more warm leads so that I can convert those into sales. For other people, you've got something big. Like I know Megan has a lot of courses, so she may already know that, excuse me, in the first quarter, she's going to launch some kind of new course, or maybe she's got some kind of promotion coming up with one of her one-on-one services or something like that. And so the thing that would benefit her the most is thinking about how to fill that program. So not selling the program yet, but maybe just thinking about how to fill in her funnel. So she would think, okay, well, if I'm going to talk to parents about kids who have this specific problem, and Megan helps parents stop yelling at their kids, which I love, but maybe she's niching in on something specific in one of her programs, then she would really want to talk about that a lot. Like, what's the next best step for someone to do so that they would think, oh, this program is a no-brainer for me. So it may even be something for free that she's focusing on. It doesn't actually always have to be a paid offer. If you know that you're going to be launching a course or a new offer or something like that, you need to fill up your audience. You need to grow your audience. You need to go ahead and start talking about that before you get into your actual sales cycle. And sales cycle is just where you're telling people, this is what it is, this is how you get it, and this is how long you have to actually get into this program. So it really depends on the different stages of business. So that might work really well for Megan, who has courses and things like that. If you are someone who's newer in business, or maybe business has just been very up and down, and you're kind of in that horrible feast and famine kind of thing, and it's for you more about let's get some leads going, right, building momentum, then a good thing for you would be to think about what offers you have, or you may not, maybe this is making you reconsider the offers that you do have. So, and I'll just use myself as an example. So I am opening up some more coaching spots. So coaching with me is It's a higher price point. It's a higher time investment. But the easiest way to work with me, the most affordable way to work with me, is with this program called Discover Your Brand Voice, where we specifically focus on your content strategy, right? So what I'm doing to fill up those coaching spots is focusing on Discover Your Brand Voice. So if you've been in this group for any amount of time, if you've noticed over the past 30 days or so, that I did a challenge that talked about Discover Your Brand Voice. And then I offered a special on Discover Your Brand Voice. So it's all about feeding into Discover Your Brand Voice. That's where my focus is for the 90 days, because that program really works well with converting people from going from Discover Your Brand Voice into coaching. So since I know that in the first quarter, I'm going to open up 5 more coaching spots, this is a really great way to make money now and then fill that coaching program after hopefully my kids get back to school in January, right? So that's how I'm thinking about it. And let's say that you're a person who has, kind of a medium offer, but you're not really filling it. You're not able to really get leads into that. Maybe you need to think about, what kind of offer can I do to either build up some awareness, really create some momentum with people that would be really good clients, and then sell to them? Or what offer can I create that's a really easy yes, and maybe it's like $100 offer, or a $25 workbook or something like that, that will essentially do the same thing. So how can I create some momentum in my business by working with someone or creating a relationship with someone that's going to lead to the next thing? So it really depends on your goal. Are you trying to generate leads right now? Are you trying to grow your audience, like your email list, your social media, because you want to be able to sell to those people? Or are you getting ready to prime your audience for that next big thing that you're going to do that's going to be in 2021? So kind of think about which one you are, because this is how you do it. This is how you get those things. So focusing in on one thing that you want to sell, just to recap, is going to get you more sales, because people are going to hear the same thing over and over. For you yourself, you're going to feel so focused. It's going to feel so easy because you're talking about the same thing all the time. You're not trying to sell all and do all the different things. You're just talking about one thing, and you're going to get so good at selling that thing and build a ton of confidence along the way. So after you have chosen the one thing that you want to put your focus on, the second thing you want to do is think about which platform do you want to share that on. So we won't spend a lot of time here, because I know that many of you are always kind of questioning, well, is this the right platform for me? Is it not the right platform for me? And I'll just say that, first of all, it doesn't matter what you like as much as it matters where your people are. If they're on Instagram, be on Instagram. If they're on LinkedIn, be on LinkedIn. If they're on Facebook, be on Facebook. Figure out where your people are, and that is where you want to show up. Now, I know that you'll feel the need to show up on all the platforms, but I'm telling you, master one platform. If it's Instagram, do Instagram. If it's Facebook, do Facebook. For me personally, I don't really use Facebook like my business page, but I definitely build my business using Facebook groups. So using my Facebook group, using other Facebook groups. And I love Instagram, but Instagram is really secondary to all that. It's more like continuing. You found your people on TikTok. I mean, yeah, Megan, you never, who knew? So I think that that's a really good example. Be open. Do some investigation. Just because you think your people are one place doesn't mean that they really are. Go and see where they are. And see what is really working for you. So the thing that I would hate about TikTok, and it wouldn't matter if all of my people were there, I just don't think I could do it. I'm not going to dance in front of a camera. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I would feel totally uncomfortable with that, right? But what I love is showing up in this group, and I love being able to give value, and I love being able to click on your profiles and see what everybody does and get to know people. Yeah, and so I just really love showing up on Facebook and Instagram the most, especially my group. So my group first, no dancing required. I don't know. I mean, if you knew me at home, I dance all the time and really act stupid, but I just don't know that I want to videotape that, or say videotape. That's not even what it's called anymore. I don't know that I want to record that. But you really just want to pick what is going to be the right fit for you. Because if you were to get, if Megan was like, Shanna, you got to get on TikTok. That's where it's at. That's where it's happening. Get on TikTok. and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do this, like I wouldn't actually show up. And so it would be a huge waste of time, because that hour or so I spent trying to make a video that I felt like wasn't humiliating to myself, I could have spent on Facebook groups engaging and having conversation, and they would feel that, right? They would feel the difference of that energy between like, I really want to be here and I hate every minute of this. So pick a platform where, first, you know your people are, and two, think about how you're going to use it and how you're going to show up. So it's all about building relationships, but you get to choose where you want to build those relationships. Just make sure that's where your people are, because you don't want to waste your time. Like, nobody wants to sit here and waste all of their time. So the third part of that is, after you've decided what you're going to focus on selling and you've decided what platform you're going to show up on, you want to make a decision about how you're going to get the word out. Now, this is a place where we can make this all kinds of complicated. But so let me just say this. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, between clients and friends, like I know a lot of people with a lot of different businesses. And I'm telling you that people who have a simple strategy of, they post on Instagram and have a newsletter list and make 10K months, like, it really doesn't have to be difficult. Their process is that simple. But the reason why it works is because they're showing up consistently, and they're able to give value, and they know how to write posts that are connecting with people and helping them build those relationships. So they're showing up consistently, but they're not showing up consistently like sharing other people's content or, sharing inspirational quotes or things like that. They're giving value. They're telling people exactly why they need to work with them. And they are, telling them the results that they're going to have. So we've talked about this before, being really specific about who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and letting people know that you are a credible source by sharing the results that you give, right? So people want to know, yes, that you can solve their problem, but then they want to feel really good about that purchase. And so that's why, like, when you go to Amazon and you find something, you're like, yeah, I think this is exactly what I want. You may even put it in your cart already, but you go back and look at those reviews, because you just want that extra push to be sure that you're really going to like what you get, that it's really going to solve the problem that you have. So you can have a very simple strategy of, maybe you use Facebook groups like I do, and you have an email newsletter list, and all you do is show up and share really great content and let people know how you can help them. And it can be 100% that simple. I know another business owner who makes multiple six figures, and she gets most of her clients from not having a podcast, but from being a guest on podcast. But she doesn't just get on there and say, this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. She has a lead in. So she says, hey, I've got 5 spots open. We can do a one-on-one call. You're going to get ABC. And you go to her website and you get the call, and then she turns those into clients. So what I just want you to understand is that it really can be simple. Pick the offer that you really want to sell. Decide what platform you're going to show up on. And I mean, you're going to show up, you're going to go all in. You're going to go all in. And then you're going to decide how you are going to share this offer. So this last part can be a few different things. But it's not about starting something new. It's about going really deep on what you already have. So let's say you have an email list, and I hear this a lot, like, I don't email that regularly, or I don't really know what to put in there or how to get clients from that. That's a good place for you to decide, I'm going to get clients from my email list. First, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give them some value. Then I'm going to offer them even more value. Then I'm going to tell them they can get more of the value that they just got when they work with me through A, B, and C, and this is how we do it. So for you, that might be like, well, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, but I kind of have a post here or there, but I've not really been using that, or I don't know how. If you like that and that's something that you want to do,
you have to charge your laptop.
Okay. And that's
be good for Christmas.
Yeah, everybody be good for Christmas. If you have decided that's something that you want to do.
That, Mommy.
Okay. then what you want to do is get in those groups, try, like, look, see what other people are doing that they're getting a lot of engagement on. If they're creating posts or people are engaging with them, try something similar. Like, it's whatever you decide you want to do. So it could be getting in Facebook groups, it could be really utilizing your email list, it could be that maybe you've been showing up on Instagram, for example, and you know your people are there, but you're not getting a lot of engagement. Go back to your content. Look at your content. Are people reading that and they're like, oh my gosh, this person can solve my problem? Yeah, my co-host is the best. This person can solve my problem, and I have no doubt, like, I have to work with her. So look at your content and see if that's really working for you. Of course, if your content is not getting you engagement and it's not working for you, then reach out.
Thank you, hard, my love, Mommy.
Okay. And we can work through that on Discover Your Brand Voice. But
Chocolate.
yeah.
You want to say?
Well, I know, but they can't talk back to you. Okay. But the important thing for you to remember is that it's all about the decisions that you make, and when you are focused on what you're going to do, you're going to get a much better result. Hey.
This is my favorite thing.
Okay, go back in the kitchen with your candy. All right, so there is a example that I heard from Rachel Hollis, and I thought, wow, this really explains this so well. And I know she was using it in a completely different context, but she was talking about how, when we have goals, when we want to set goals for ourselves, we can try to do a lot of things at once. And I think that a lot of us, go over there. Thank you. A lot of us do this, especially in January, or we wake up and we're like, you know what? I'm going to exercise all the time. I'm going to drink all of my water. Bless you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then we maybe do it for a day or two, and then we don't, or we do some of that, and then we quit. Josie, I want you to go over there and eat your candy in the kitchen.
I eat all my candy.
Okay, we'll go over there and feed your doll.
No.
She loves video. What can we do? And we don't get a lot of results when we do that. And it's the difference between throwing a handful of pebbles in the water and getting a little bit of a ripple versus grabbing a huge boulder and throwing the boulder in, right? It's going to like push into the water. We're going to get some backsplash. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a splash with our marketing. And if we're going and trying to do a little here and we're like sprinkling all over the place, we're not really going to get those big results that we really want. And honestly, it feels good. It feels really good just to sit back and say, hey, I'm selling this one thing, I'm showing up on this one platform, and I'm only going to do A, B, and C, and that's it, and that's enough, and that's all that I'm going to do. So we'll just do one more quick recap, and for those of you that are listening in, I'd love to know, how do you feel about this? Do you think that you could focus in on one goal, one thing that you want to sell this month, and really let yourself do that one thing? So for you, this could look like deciding that you are going to sell maybe a one-off intensive or something. So this could be a phone call, it could be an assessment, it could be something like that. So let's say you're going to pick that one thing and that's what you're going to sell. You're going to show up on, let's say you already are in a lot of Facebook groups and you really love Instagram and you feel like that's where your people are. You're going to show up on Instagram. You're going to show up every single day, and you're just going to go deeper. So instead of going wider, you're going to go deeper. When somebody follows you, you're going to get in DMs. You're going to send them a voice message. You're going to ask a question about them and their business. When they DM you back, you're actually going to follow up. And so not just kind of drop it like a hot potato and be like, okay, I don't know what to do now. Yeah. Then you are going to really think about how you're going to share this offer. And so you're going to create some really great content that lets people know not only the problem that you solve, but why you're amazing at it. Let them know the transformation and results that they can expect. And you're just going to keep showing up every single day in your Instagram account, in your in the Facebook groups. Like, you're going to do that. And what's going to happen is at the end of 30 days, like I said, you're going to be a master at selling that one thing. And so if you want to, you can keep going, or you can move on to maybe another offer that you have to sell. And you're going to build a ton of confidence. But most importantly, you are going to get some great sales and start off this next year in a way that feels good without having to stress and feel overworked. And yeah, we should just let Josie do these from now on. She probably knows everything about business if she's sinking it into her little brain.
Yeah, I love brains.
You love brains? I like brains too. So let me know if any of this resonates with you. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you want some one-on-one help kind of figuring out what your marketing strategy would be, please let me know. And everybody have a good day.
Have a good day.